This is the Padres Postcast, your instant game reaction for the
San Diego Padres.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, San Diego Padre fans all over God's green earth and everyone else who happens to be here right now with me? My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, G-R-I-E-S, at Jim Grease _ on social media. Give me a follow. I might make you holla. The Padres making you holla tonight. Big win in Chi-Town. Chi-Town roll now. 7-3, the victory over the White Sox, who are god-awful, as we know. 4 more losses, and they lose 100 for the 3rd straight year. And they have lost 7 of their last 8 games. The one win was last night against Dylan Cease and the Padres, but the Padres been struggling a little bit, obviously a lot, if you listen to some people, as the playoffs are right around the corner, looking like they're cemented in that second spot in the wild card, National League, going to be behind the Cubs, ahead of the Mets, and probably going to play in Chicago in the wild card round, right? On the road in round number 1. But how about this for the Padres? This is textbook, right? They get the big inning, busted open a big inning. Manny ties the game with an RBI single, couple of walks, you know what I mean? And then bang. Oh, Ryan O'Hearn with a beautiful bases clearing double. Oppo, left field for the big guy, the first baseman, Ryan O'Hearn, and Luis Arraez added an RBI single. Gavin Sheets against his former team added an RBI single. Holy Sheets. Holy Sheets. Yeah, man. Jackson Merrill, 2 more hits, 3 runs scored, a homer. Fernando scored twice. Big win for the Pods in Chicago. You have to take 2 out of 3 against this team, right? You've been blessed to play the Rockies a couple of times lately. You get the White Sox, and then you're finishing up with the Brew Crew. And while they're not exactly Harvey's Wallbangers, they're Murphy's Maulers, or whatever you want to call them. The former ASU Sun Devil manager, Pat Murphy, killing it with the Brew Crew this year. So you finish with the Brew Crew and the D-Bags. And the thing about the D-Bags is they're right behind the Mets in the wild card race, and the Mets lost to the Nationals tonight. Giants lost to the Dodgers. So, you know, the Diamondbacks are right there. And if they're still in it, you're obviously going to get their best, or you would think you'll get their best, right? So the Padres win 7-3. They're 4 games behind the Dodgers. They're 4 games behind the Cubs, and they're 4 up on the Mets. So again, looking like they're locked in and locked on to that spot with 7 games left. It's Grease. It's the Postcast. You know what it is. We're live on YouTube right after the games. Then we upload and you download. Very simple, right? Up, down, easy, like a seesaw, like the Padres season for that matter, or a Dylan Cease start. Good Lord, did I just do that? Sorry I did that to you on the day we got to win. Anyway, we are free wherever you get your podcasts. We upload, you download. That's Spotify, that's Apple, that's iHeart, that's Stitcher, that's Podbean, that is anywhere. And then, of course, you're down with OPP. Yeah, oh, wait a minute. It's OTT. Over the top television. 53. These whiskers are too old for OPP. Anyway, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. It's the Postcast 7-3. The final of the Padres win. Big one in Chicago. We break it down. The ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the player of the game, the turning point, and we get you ready for the series finale mañana. And maybe one of the biggest Padres games of the year for one reason and one reason only. I'm not going to tell you what it is till you come back with me. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, Postcast, Padres. Let's roll.
This is what you'll be talking about.
This is what I'm talking about right here. Man, what a win for the Padres. They have to beat the White Sox, right? The lowly Chicago White Sox. Chi-Town roll now. I'm going to say it again, right? But they'll be right back in Chicago. What a great place, by the way. I love being a baseball guy. When I was a baseball play-by-play announcer, one of my favorite things, going you're in and covering a team, traveling with them. Best thing to do. At football, you're in, you're out. NBA, you're really in, you're out. You might get lucky and get a night here, night there. But baseball, you're in the city for a few days at a time. And there is no city that I enjoy being in a few days at a time more than Chicago. I might like some the same. I'm a city boy, but man, Chicago's a lot of fun. They'll be right back there, except they'll be on the north side instead of the south side. Ryan O'Hearn, 3-run double in a 4-run 6th inning, breaking open the game after Manny Machado tied it with an RBI single. And that, of course, leads me to ask Manny, why you bugging? And they need Manny to be bugging for this run toward the playoffs. And Fernando, too, who scored on that play, they need to get it going. It needs to be a Tati party with Manny bugging and Merrill madness and holy sheets and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Hearn. Jackson Merrill homered leading off the second, scored 3 runs tonight. He continues his hot streak. O'Hearn 3 hits, big blow in the 6th. Wild pitches, 3 walks. Yeah, Gómez got chased, baby. Nando started the go-ahead rally. Leadoff single, scored from third when Manny knocked Gómez out with the single. And then it got really bad. 3 of the next 5 hitters walked. And then Ryan O'Hearn. Oh, man, what a nice job there. And then late, they continue to add and put pressure on the White Sox. Gavin Sheets, holy Sheets, with the RBI single in the 8th. And then, of course, in the 9th, it was Luis Arraez, the 3-time batting champ. You know what I'm saying? Everything starts to come together for the Padres, winning after they lost 2 in a row. But again, they've lost some series lately. They lost series against teams they should have won the series against, like the Reds, for example, like the Orioles, for example, as well. And, you know, that's why, you left the 2 Dodgers series, right? You went into the first Dodgers series up 2 games on them, left down 1. You went into the second Dodgers series and came out of that up a game on them. And, you've lost that lead both times into the division that no one seems to want to win, the National League West. They had a magic number of 4 for clinching a playoff spot on the way into tonight, did the Pods. But the reason tomorrow's game, and I'm going to get to it in just a second, because I just want to put a bow on the game description for you here and just let you know. And I'm going to tell you why tomorrow's game. And you probably figured it out, you guys with the high IQs. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably all of y'all up in here with the high IQs. But what am I saying here? Where am I at standings? Okay, I'm going to go real quick onto the wild card because, again, the Mets lost tonight. So did the Cubs. Dodgers won. So right now you're looking at that wild card race. Yeah, 4 behind the Cubbies and 4 ahead of the Mets. The Mets are only a game ahead of the Reds. The Reds are balling out. They beat the Cubs tonight. Look at Tito getting them going there. Terry Francona, the D-Bags, the Diamond Bags. D-Bags. I love myself sometimes. Arizona 78 and 77. They're 2 games back. So with 7 games left, you got Cincy a game back. You got Arizona 2 back. You got San Fran 4 back and St. Louis 5 back, along with Miami. The Marlins in the playoff race. Go figure, after the year they had last year right there with the White Sox. But the Diamondbacks are on the schedule, and you know that, right? They're the last series of the season. And then, of course, you have the Brewers right before that. Brewers have clinched a playoff berth, as have the Cubbies, but the Cubbies are 7 games behind the Brewers, and they were tied like 3 weeks ago, or maybe 4. And then the Phillies, 92 and 63, they are now 3 games behind Milwaukee. They were a game behind last week, but 3 games behind Milwaukee. So if the Brew Crew clinches before they play the Padres and the Diamondbacks are eliminated before they play the Padres, and that could happen theoretically, or at least the Brewers could clinch against the Padres. So we'll see how important that is and how that all shakes out. But it's going to be a lot of fun nonetheless to see how this thing goes down the stretch. But a real important win tonight. They had to get it after Dylan Cease couldn't get it done again for him last night, which leads me to my point, right? And this is what I wanted to say about tomorrow's game. This is the most important game of the year for the Padres for one reason, in one respect. And I know you guys are following me here. And it's actually something that's very nerve-wracking right now, and it's upsetting. You're not knowing what's coming around the corner, right? Because your starting pitching has been absolutely dreadful. I'm talking dead-ass awful recently, right? Yu Darvish, 4 2/3 innings today. He didn't give you anything, really. I mean, he's all right. He didn't give a home run today, at least, but 4 2/3, he gives up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, strikes out 4, not able to factor into the decision. And if you look back recently at the starts by the starting pitchers in the rotation, Dylan Cease couldn't get it done last night. He's been up and down like a yo-yo, had a couple of good starts, a couple of bad ones, good one, bad one. Even within starts, he's, just chucking bullets and striking guys out, and then he's giving up a 4 spot or a 5 spot in the next inning. So that's tough to deal with day in and day out. Darvish hasn't been good. Cease hasn't been good. Vasquez had 1 good game, then he got ripped the last time out. Even Pivetta gave up 3 homers in his last start and was chased before he had a chance to factor into the decision. You know what I'm saying? So very, very concerning when it comes to starting pitching. Well, why is tomorrow's game so important? Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ on social media. Mr. Give me a follow, make you holla guy. Why is tomorrow's game so important in that regard? It's because all you want to be is Diggy down with the king, and you want Michael King to come back and pitch well. He's got the ball tomorrow. They're going to give him the rock. Man, oh man, Michael King, the ace of the staff, who's going to be a free agent in the offseason, Michael King, who came in 7th in the Cy Young last year. Michael King, who when he's on, throwing zeros across the board, but Michael King, his last 2 starts, has given up 6 home runs, has given up 13 hits and 10 earned runs in 8 innings since coming off the IL for the second time. Now, remember, he went on the IL with the shoulder nerve, irritation in May 18th after the Seattle game, was out until August 9th, came back to face the Red Sox 2 innings into that start, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. Later, what happens? He goes on the IL again with knee injury, right? So then he's out until September 9th, comes back against the Reds, goes 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers. You think, all right, working his way back, working my way back to you. But then the come on out and beat the Mets, just ripped them all over the field. 3 innings pitched. It was the opener against the Mets. And remember, they had just won the walk-off the day before to snap an 8-game losing streak. But 10 hits, 8 earned runs, and 4 homers. Last time out for King. I don't have to tell you, okay? I don't need to be Peter Gammons, God rest his soul, to let you know about this, okay? I don't need to be Peter Gammons to tell you that they desperately need a starter to step up and be that guy. It's been Pivetta all year. To me, he's not an ace. He's a 3-starter in the playoffs, probably 2 on this team. But you need Michael King to pitch like an ace now. You need him. He's got 1 more start probably after this in the regular season. You need him to get into form, and you need him to do it fast. His velocity's fine. His movement's good. But he can't locate at all right now, especially the fastball, or couldn't in those last 2 starts. And I need to see him do that before I can breathe if I'm a Padre, big fan right now, because you need someone to step up and give you that starting pitching. The bullpen's fantastic. Look at what Miller and Estrada did tonight, right? Morejon goes an inning in the 3rd and back at Darvish. Scoreless. He gets the win, 13-5. Hey, now you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go pitch. Morejon all year. All right, then Estrada comes in. Please, good Lord, let Jeremiah Estrada get the train back on the tracks. And he did tonight. 1 inning, a perfect inning, 2 strikeouts. You know what Mason Miller is going to give you? I think he's your closer. 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, perfect inning, just like Estrada. Then Suarez comes in, gives up a homer and a bullet of a fly out for the final out. I still think Miller's your closer, but the bullpen getting it done, the beginning with Machado and HEARN, the insurance runs from Gavin Sheets and Arraez a little bit later on. And, man, the right fielder for the White Sox saved him a bunch of runs, made great catch after great catch tonight as well. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, still to come, the turning point, the player of the game. And, of course, we look ahead to tomorrow. It's your Padres postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Going to take a quick break, not going anywhere, neither are you. But I'm going to tell you how you can save money or get great deals and great services, you know what I'm saying, as well as products from our incredible sponsors right here. Padres Postcast, we're free on YouTube, and then we upload, you download Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, and Roku. You down with OTT? Yeah, baby. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. 7-3 the final. Padres win, even the series at a game apiece. Pretty much embedded in that second wildcard spot in the National League. And yeah, all sorts of things still to come on this episode. Stick around with your Padres Postcast. Any day now. There you go. Hey, StreamYard. All right. Gotta love it. Anyway, you gotta love a lot of things. The Padres win tonight. I have a dry mouth. Sorry for them. It's been a long day with football and everything. That's why the show is a little late tonight. But no football game for me tomorrow because I did the Thursday night game with the Dolphins. So, hey, now you're an all-star. All right, I want to talk to you about Zippix. Am I saying zip it? No, I am saying Zippix, and Zippix good. All right, and listen to me here because this episode is brought to you by Zippix Toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost to be like me and have it just exuding everywhere you go, Zippix good has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. And yeah, they infuse toothpicks now. It's 2025, and the world just keeps getting better. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. It can be helpful tool, Zippix can. As you work to reduce your dependence on vaping, it's available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligram and 3 milligram nicotine options. You don't have a stupid pouch in your mouth. And if you need energy without the crash, They're caffeine toothpicks. Caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. Yeah, the taste is great. The energy is amazing. Watermelon, iced peppermint. Oh, man, what a flavor that is. Energy without the jitters. Amazing flavors. And you can do it all by going to Zippix, Zippix, 2Ps, Zippix. Zip it good. ZippixToothpicks.com. Use code LOCKEDON. And that will give you 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older. To place that order, warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's Zippix with 2Ps, ZippixToothpicks.com. Promo code LOCKEDON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix Toothpicks on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And I also get a chance to tell you about Prize Picks. You know how much I love getting action on the action. Look at this nice new hat they sent me. I love these guys here on the Locked On Podcast Network. This episode brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, right? We always like to think we're right, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. Cold hard, baby. Paper. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. You know this. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. How about them Chargers this year, huh? No doubt about it. Playing great. I've been playing Prize Picks lately. Such a fun way to stay locked in for the season. Always giving me the action that I crave on the action, because I like to stack my action. I don't just want action. I want action on that action and more action on that action. And I literally can turn my correct decisions into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds with 2 to 6 player projections and Prize Picks, right? Download the Prize Picks app today. That's all you're going to do. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB. It's $50 in lineups and your first $5 play with Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Yes, it is. Absolutely. And man, I'm about to tell you about some serious energy boost here and some great flavors. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. That's right. 5-hour energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Man, those chemists are busy. Each 2-ounce shot, it's packing the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins, nutrients, 0 sugar, and zero crashes. What I love most is how portable they are. They're big, tasty, tiny shot. You can take it anywhere and get the boost when you need it. All these flavors, they're so bold and they are awesome. You know what I'm saying? I love how fast it kicks in, and then that's sugar-free, so I don't have to worry about crashing later. I don't have to worry about getting diabetes from my energy, right? So enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a serious, bold flavor upgrade with 5-hour energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in store or online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today for 5-hour energy on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, yours every day. San Diego-ish, what up? What up, what up? San Diego-ish says, let's go Padres. I would concur. What a win, San Diego-ish. And we got a good audience. And while I'm here, I want to remind you, day in, day out, we do crossovers together too with Javier Reyes, Locked On Padres podcast. He's here every day. The ups and downs, the ins and outs. And as you head toward the playoffs with 7 games left, Javi will have everything you need. News on injuries like Bogarts, for example, or David Morgan, or maybe Nestor Cortez. And who knows, the playoff rotation, what's going to happen the rest of the way, day in and day out with Javi. Me, of course, after every game, including tomorrow, which is 11:10 first pitch. So we will be here for Sunday brunch with you tomorrow, San Diego, and beyond. The Friar faithful, the Friar fandom, the Friar fanatics. Feeling good, man. Feeling good. I feel like you match up well with the Cubs, too, in that playoff series. That's what it's going to be. That's literally what it's going to be, is Pods Cubs in the playoffs. All right, so couple things to do, short time to do them in, and then we get on out of here. We will start with...
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Gee, I wonder what the turning point could be, guys. Any help here? Little help? Bueller? Anyone? No, the turning point of this game is very easy. The turning point of this game was very easy. 7-3 Padres, the win over the White Sox. And in the top of the 6th inning, Top of the 6th inning, the Padres, just making sure I get it in the correct sequence here against Gómez. Fernando singles to left. He goes to second on a wild pitch by Gómez. Steals third. This is Nando being Nando. You know what I'm saying? Manny singles to center. Tatis scores. It is, at the moment, 2-2, tying the game. Manny, he's bugging. He tied it up, right? So then they bring in Ellard. And what happens then? Jackson Merrill draws a walk after Manny goes to second on a wild pitch. Wild pitches, walks, wild thoughts. All these things that are happening right now, right? Yeah, so Merrill goes to second. Manny goes to third. Holy Sheets. The former White Sox wants to come through in a big way against his former team. Later, he would get an RBI single, but here he walks, and what happens? HEARN. 2-2. Fastball, outside corner, drills. One hopper off the wall to left center field, and everybody scores. It's 5-2 Padres, and that is your turning point, which brings me to...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And, of course, the player of the game with many options tonight. Jackson Merrill, 2 hits, 3 runs scored. Had another homer tonight. How about the bullpen? Adrian Morejon an inning and a third to get the win. Scoreless baseball. How about Jeremiah Estrada and Mason Miller? A scoreless inning each with 2 strikeouts apiece. Perfect innings for those 2 guys. Plenty of candidates on a night when the only player of the game for the Padres can be named Ryan O'Hearn. How about my man tonight? Big dude, the first baseman, getting it going. 3 for 4 with the 3-run double. And, man, he has been a nice addition to this lineup. So the Pods win 7-3, and they are right now cemented in that 2-hole in the wild card race. They're 4 behind the Dodgers. It's really 5 with the tiebreaker. 7 games left. Peace out, NL West, man. You know, we'll just have to hope playoff Kershaw comes back. I can't let the guy have his moment. I'm sorry. You're not an all-time great when you suck in the playoffs. You're just not. You're not. You are not. I'd rather have Andy Pettitte or John Smoltz because they won when? In the playoffs. Kurt Schilling, I could go on, but, you know, this isn't the show for that. Anyway, it's basically a 5-game deficit, 4 plus the tiebreaker to the Dodgers, 7 games left. And you're 4 behind the Cubs, and you're 4 ahead of the Mets. So the Mets with the Diamondbacks, the Reds right on their heels, you might not see them, and I think that'd be good for a lot of the teams in the National League. All right, before we let you go, one more thing to do. Locked On Padres podcast, myself at the POSTCAST. We're here on YouTube. We're on Roku. And then the audios, wherever you get them. Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean. Stay here down the stretch as the Padres make that playoff run, right? But one more thing I want to tell you about is Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night till someone holds up the World Series championship trophy, right? Local analysis on a national scale. Great show. Locked On MLB Game Night. Check them out on YouTube, Locked On MLB, or wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget Javi. Don't forget me with the podcast and the postcast here on Locked On Padres, YouTube, and all the channels I just told you about. A like for him, a sub for him, hit the bell for him. It's the same for me. Don't forget the mailbag. All kinds of things heading your way. Can they get the starting pitching figured out in time for the playoffs? Can they start to put together more innings like the 6th inning today? Pressuring pitchers, running the bases, drawing walks, big hits when you need them. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they can. I'm going to answer that for you. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, 7-3 Pods, Series 1-1, 11-10 first pitch tomorrow. We will be here right after with the postcast, you and me. Until then, thank you so much for being here. Deep gratitude. And as always, keep your game tight and your mind right. 7-3 Pods. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. On the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, and I am out.